Ladies and gentlemen, we want to go ahead and get started with our program this evening. I want to offer a word of apologies. President had to run off to take care of an emergency matter. He should be here momentarily, but let's go ahead and get started. Let me welcome you all on behalf of our 12th President, Dr. Jimmy R. Jenkins Sr., to this occasion, honoring our students who studied abroad in India. And so, with that said, let me ask that we bow our heads for a word of prayer. Would you do that for me, please? Creator God, our Father, we thank you for this day and for your grace that continues to sustain us. We thank you, O God, for your presence here in this assembly of people. For indeed it is you, O God, whom we turn to for life. We thank you and offer our praise to you for the vision you've given your servant leader, Dr. Jimmy R. Jenkins Sr., our president, who answered your commission to be in covenant with you to enrich the lives of our students and afford them opportunities to open their eyes to global possibilities, extraordinary futures, and through his effort and yours, giving these students glimpses of your truth. So we offer this prayer of thanks for our students who, with faithful lives, trusted in you and our faculty to lead them on an uncertain journey, and who, through your traveling mercies, they return to us, enlightened and mature to the world of your creation. So now, Lord, bless the food we will receive. I pray that it will nourish us as we seek to be good stewards of your gifts and as we seek to serve you and your people. Bless, O Lord, this time of reflection and prayer and praise for you and for these young people who have so ably distinguished themselves in this hallowed moment in their lives. In the Christian tradition, we offer this prayer in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. We thank you all for being here today, and without much further ado, and give the President time to get back here to offer his words, and we'll continue with our program. But let us go ahead and begin our dinner.
Good evening. In the interest of time, we know that there are a number of people who have schedules that they need to maintain. Let us, item 3 on the agenda talks about reflections and a dialogue. And I would like to kind of have the students who traveled to India. Before that, Mr. Dickens has to leave earlier. Let me just extend my thanks to him and to members of his staff for assisting this program. We had to get passports, we had to get visas, we had to get tickets, very essential parts of the program. So I wanted to publicly thank Mr. Dickens and Ms. Woods, particularly, and others in his division who assisted us. We'd like to have the students kind of reflect, not lengthy, but just for those who did not travel, give them a flavor of what you experienced in the 4 weeks that you traveled. So let me call Mr. Fabian up first. We'll go down the list as it is written on the program.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Good evening to everyone, Dr. Jenkins, senior staff, students. I would like to say that in my stay at India, happened to be one of the best countries that I have visited to. It was automatically, I felt very welcome there, between the students, the staff, even the people that actually weren't even at the school. Everyone's always friendly. It was a nice culture, a nice feeling when I got there. I was very honored to be able to go there. I've actually seen a lot of things that people will never get to see and only get to see on TV and books. Just yesterday, it was funny that I saw a book about the Taj Mahal and the 7 Wonders. Now I can say I've seen one of the 7 wonders of the world. So that's a really nice feeling, and I really enjoyed my stay there. I'm extremely thankful for all the experiences I got to see, all the different places I got to go and experience a culture that is so rich in history. And that is all I would like to say, since I didn't want to hold up too much of your time, but it was just a great experience.
Good evening. My name's Sean Bush, as was said. I'm going to keep this short. I don't want to delay anyone from the schedules. Like Fabian said, it was a great experience, wonderful experience. I think, and as much as everyone else did, we thank everyone who was involved in sending the trip up. It was a wonderful experience. On my side, I thought it was a great business opportunity as well as educational opportunity. I met a lot of great people. So it was just a definite great experience that, like I said, networking go make the world go round. So I definitely went there and networked and made some great connections. So again, thank you.
He's a business major.
Who's next?
Got a question.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony Cowles, as you just stated. Sport management major. I wanted to first say thank you to Dr. Jenkins and senior staff, Mr. Dickens, Ms. Willis, Mr. Brown for organizing the trip, Dr. Pillay for coming with us, and Dr. Singh for returning with us. And to my fellow students who enjoyed the experience with me, thank you, Ms. Allen and Ms. Ingrid, for this wonderful food. India was a very adventurous place, to say the least. We learned a lot. We went through a lot, and it was just a total learning experience. Livingstone, we have the total learning experience here. In India, it was very much the same thing. I wanted to note that the NBA just got their first Indian basketball player. I thought that was cool because I just came from India, and now they have their first Indian basketball player. I'm kind of rambling now, so let me stop here and just say thank you once again.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dietrich Mitchell. First, I just want to say thank you to everybody, Dr. Jenkins, the executive staff, Perkins Management for providing the food. Most definitely, I say you guys allowed me to have a life-changing experience to where I'm able to make decisions efficiently. It's something that words really can't truly express. Only actions can demonstrate what I truly learned. Speechless, to be honest. The best is yet to come. The number one thing that stuck out with me the most about this trip is I seen what discipline inside my generation can achieve. And from this day forward, I will allow discipline to control my life, my family's life, in every dimension that I even take forward. And so thank you once again.
All right. Yes.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Jenkins, for putting this lovely dinner together, and everyone who was involved. I would like to say that my experience in India was great, although being the only girl until Dr. Singh came, of course. I really enjoyed my time. I felt like I was here with brothers, and India was just a wonderful place. The campus was wonderful. The food was like amazing, and I just really enjoyed myself, and I'm blessed to have had this experience to come on this trip. And
What did you learn about yourself?
I've learned not to judge a book by its cover, and I've definitely learned self-discipline, and I've learned like all of the things that I thought mattered in the States really didn't matter in India, like TV and just the small things. So It's a great place to go and find yourself, and I feel like I came back changed. I don't know what it is yet, but I have a great outlook on life. So once again, thank you.
Thomas the Third. They
Thank
can walk different.
Shukriya is a form of thank you in India. I just want to say thank you to the senior staff, Dr. Jenkins, State Alexander, Mr. Brown, Dr. Sharma, Dr. Pillay, Dr. Singh, and everyone involved, as my fellow students have already said. What I can take back mostly from the trip is I think the fact that they love the little things so much. They value little things to a different standard than we do. They value simple things, the fact of not having beds like we do, not having adequate beds, not having the same education system. So it's a similar education system, not exactly the same. It's the little things that I value when I experienced over there. I thank you all.
What did you learn about yourself?
Well, I learned that. I think the students basically said everything else before I said it. I learned that you can experience life over there in a different way than you can over here, and you can take away so much more than you thought you would be able to. Thank you.
I think when they returned first and when they met with Dr. Jenkins, there was a great passion, and I hope that you got a chance to get a feel. I mean, they've modified their presentations a little bit since that first. What I hope and what the vision that Dr. Jenkins has put forth is that you indeed are on your journey to becoming global citizens. That things in the world do matter, whether they're in our backyard or whether they're in some distant place. And so my hope is that 15, 20, 30 years or 50 years when you come back to this institution, that you will have achieved global understanding, and that you will have influenced people in the world, and that you will have helped people in the world, and that you got your first opportunity from this humble beginning here. That's all I got to say about it. All right, we want to get to some presentations now before we bring Dr. Jenkins up. And Fabian, the students have a presentation, so we'll let them make their presentation now.
Will all the students please come up here? Yes. Dr. Jenkins, please. Dr. Jenkins, just for a small token of thanks that you have sent us all to India, a great learning experience that we will always have for the rest of our lives. We'd like to present you with just a small token of thanks because we are really thankful for all the things that you have done.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I'm very proud to be able to accept this gift on behalf of the Livingstone College family. I'm so proud this evening to just look you in the face and say, you have charted a new course. You are on the cutting edge, and really you are going to be the ones that the history books will write about how you kicked off a study abroad program at Livingstone. And we're going to be very, very interested in seeing where you go from here. We're going to follow your careers because I predict that you are going to be a different graduate than many of our graduates who've left us and not had the kind of experience that you've had. So I want to commend you and thank you for this gift, and I look forward to it on behalf of the entire family.
I want to, while Dr. Jenkins is still standing here, give an opportunity from Dr. Larry Melton to come forward for just a moment to offer some reflections. Dr. Melton, of course, is a former member of our Board of Trustees and is ever present on our campus assisting us. So, Mr. Melton, Dr. Melton, I'm sorry.
Dr. Jenkins, I just want to commend you for this program. When I look on that blanket standing behind you, I have worked with every president, starting with Dr. Shipman all the way down. Dr. Duncan had passed away when I came to Livingstone. This is the first time I have seen a president establish an international program of this magnitude. Give that a hand. And he needs to be commended for it. He needs to be commended for it. And I really do appreciate him doing this. I was impressed when I heard about it. I was impressed. I really wanted to know, what did Brown do? I can't, what does he do? Now I know. I knew all the time. But by the same token, he was busy making these young people happy. And I'm so impressed with all of them. But Dr. Jenkins, my hat's off to you. And I'm going to be sure and let the Board of Trustees know what a great job you're doing with the international program. Thank you, sir. I had to say that. I had to say that.
Okay, let me just start off by saying, you don't know how significant this is for me. It's significant because of the fact that as I have traveled and seen students at other institutions, as I have listened to the students here on our own campus, I knew that if we're going to connect the dots in any way, we need to give our students perspective. And too often when you don't have perspective, you have what I call a narrow view. I guess we call it tunnel vision. You have tunnel vision. You don't see things around you in a way, and so you focus on things oftentimes that you consider to be very important. It takes up a lot of your time, but once you get that tunnel vision out of the way, and oftentimes that happens when you get a program like this, you get a broader perspective of the world around you. And not only a broader perspective of the world around you, begin to look at the things you've been doing in your own world. In your own world. And all of a sudden you begin to see that oftentimes the things that you were doing in your own world were just plain minuscule, had no real meaning in terms of how you're going to adjust to the global society. And that's the real issue that I think is so important to me. It is being able to make sure that you get that perspective. Now I have 6 students now who have taken a journey that no other student at Livingstone College has taken in a program like this in the history of the school. In the history of the school. You have done that. You have done that. And so I expect from you a different behavior. And that's why I wanted to have this dinner with you this evening. I want you to know that I don't want it just to be an experience that you just savor for yourself. I want you to share, because we're all in this boat together, and I want you to share with your peers. Too often your peers still, most of them have that tunnel vision because they have not seen what you've seen. They've not done what you've done. So they still have that tunnel vision. It's up to you now to give them a different perspective. It's up to you now to say to them, hey, there's a world out there, and while you're focusing on whether or not you got enough light over here to do whatever, there are people out in the world who have less light in many instances than what you have, and they are getting it. They are getting the education. They are moving forward because they understand what is important. You know, I know that to be true because, as I said before, when I was in Senegal, and I use that as an example, and I went to a one-room schoolhouse, and I was just so amazed at the fact that there were The teacher was in the building. The students were in chairs on the floors, sitting down, and then there were the windows. Students were heads in the windows outside of the building, taking notes, because they were they understood what getting that education meant for them to be able to go out and command their rightful place in a global society. They understood that. They didn't get caught up in things that says, that are peripheral and really have nothing to do with your ability to get an education. They're peripheral things, and they can distract you and cause you to start looking at that rather than looking at the prize, the education, the transcript, the moving forward and getting things done that need to be done. So I want you to take from this, and I want to form, tonight I'm asking you to be a part of a club. I want to formulate this club called the International Study Abroad Club. International Study Abroad Club. I want you all to be the charter members of that club. The charter members of that club. We want to establish as an official club of the college. An official club of the college. And we'll list that. And in fact, I want to make sure we get a group photo that we might already have. If we don't, we'll get one. We'll get a group photo of everybody with the advisors and all, and those who work with them and you and so forth, for posterity. To go in our next yearbook and to be able to be just shared with the family here, the Livingstone family, the alumni association, and just throughout the board of trustees and throughout. We want them to know history was made by you. You started something. And I wanted to see it blossom and become something so that every student who comes to Livingstone can look forward to a study abroad experience. And I think that's the thing that we want to get out of this. So I challenge you tonight. I challenge you. And I don't want to get biblical, but I have to because it's in my blood. So what I want to say to you is this: to those whom God has given much, much is required. So you have been given a special opportunity. We took money and dedicated that money to this cause because we thought it was a seed, a good seed that would fall on good soil and would germinate and grow. And there will be a harvest, and we'll produce a great harvest. That's what we thought about, and that's what we hoped would take place. And so I challenge you tonight to don't let this just die. Let your light shine so others can see what you've done and what you've been able to achieve. And be drawn, not to you, but drawn to Him who blesses us all by the good work that you are doing. And so is it with that in mind that I have dedicated my office to make sure that Livingstone that this goes down in history as the beginning of a new venture, a new adventure for this institution, that we will be able to send students far and wide, and they'll be able to look back on this day. You're the charter members. They'll look back on this day, and you know what they'll say? They'll say, you know what happened? They'll say Fabian Birch. They'll say Sean Bush. They'll say Anthony Cowles. They'll say Dietrich Mitchell. They'll say Yasmin Patterson, and they'll say Charles Thomas. Those were the founders, the beginners of this new program. You know what I mean? They'll say that. They'll see your picture. And generations yet to come will look back and say, those were the people who started this program at Livingstone. And that's what is important, not for any personal glory, but for the fact that you open a door. And now a lot of other students will go through that door and gain the kind of exposure and experience that you did. I want to thank Dr. Sharma for his leadership, chair of that department. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank Dr. Pillay for the leadership that you've provided as well, working with these students. I want to thank Dr. Singh for your leadership in working with these students. And I just want you to know that every now and then we think about as presidents and chancellors and so forth, we try to look at what in your legacy might you point to as one of your prouder moments. I can tell you that as I stand before you tonight, this is one of the prouder moments of my education, This is one of the prouder moments of my operations, and I want to thank you for that. And with that, I'm going to ask Dr. Sharma, Dr. Pillay, and Dr. Singh if you would join me here at the podium, please.
We want to just read the first one.
Okay. I want to read this first one so that you will know what I'm passing out to each and every one of you. Livingstone College, this certifies that Fabian D. Burt has successfully completed the Livingstone College Charter Study Abroad program to India, and in his official induction as a charter member of the International Study Abroad Club, is hereby recognized by the President, approved by the Board of Trustees, and is therefore awarded this certificate of commendation this 14th day of April 2015, signed by me, President of the college, and signed by Mr. Earl Brown, International Program Director. And I want to give each one of you one of these so that this will be just a little memento for you to be reminded of what you did in your time at Livingstone College, okay?
Fabian?
Okay, Fabian, if you'll come up.
Hold the mic for you.
And if you'll shake hands and come on down here, and I'll give you the
Shake hands with you. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go.
and then turn this way.
All right.
Congratulations, Fabian.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Sean Bush. Where's Sean? He had to go to work. Okay. Anthony Kyles.
Turn this way.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Dietrich Mitchell.
Congratulations, Deidre. Stand this way.
Yes, you have to come.
Yes. Great. Good.
Yasmin Patterson.
Jasmine, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm so proud of you. Great. Okay.
Charles C. Thomas III.
Charles, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Put your hand on that. Great. Good. Proud of you. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me say a few words. Thank you to our president for his leadership and support. And I also thank you for Mr. Brown doing hard work so that this thing can be completed. Now, our president challenged that we should have a club. I assure you that we will make your dream materialize in that way.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Brown, I want you to give me at least a report for the first club meeting.
Yes, sir.
And I would like that meeting to certainly happen before we leave for commencement.
Yes, sir.
And the minutes of that meeting so that I'll know that this thing got off the ground and is moving forward. We got a couple of seniors.
Actually, all of them are seniors.
All of them are seniors. So you can say that's the legacy that you left behind.
And
Okay.
Dietrich is still here.
Okay. So that's the legacy, and Dietrich, you'll have to carry it on for them, and they'll be checking on you to make sure that you leave that you carry forth the spirit that we are now experiencing right now. So you will leave that behind. But I want to thank you, and so give me that
Yes, sir.
report,
We'll do
and
so.
we'll see where we go from there.
Yes,
So
sir.
we can talk about strategic planning and all of that for the future as we send more students. And I hope that there are a couple of you who might take advantage of that master's degree program, Dr. Sharma, that master's degree program in India, that, especially, you can't get a better deal. Somebody said free, can't get a better deal than that. Yeah. So, I think that's an outstanding possibility, and I would invite you, if you will, to take advantage of it.
Right now, I'm encouraging the merchants, kindly to go and complete their master's program because you will be more marketable in this global society.
Yeah.
You will enjoy.
I think, just to make a reference, during the time that the students were in India, the vice chancellor of the university to which our students were attending was here on this campus and met with Dr. Jenkins and Mr. Alexander and Dr. Duncan. And he mentioned that they were establishing a master's program in entrepreneurship and small business. And we pressed him a little bit, Dr. Sharma did, a little bit about the possibility of taking some of our students. And the verbal agreement was that when we get it established, he would hope that some of the students who were there now, which means some of you, would apply to that program. And his words were, if we get you there, he can keep you there. Which means that it won't cost us a whole lot. So, there was something that came, there's a lot more that has come out of this relationship than just your going. So I think you should be proud of yourselves. Let me just take a moment to as is in traditional societies, you have to give a vote of thanks at the end of a program. And first of all, I would like to offer my sincere thanks and appreciation to Dr. Jenkins, his vision, and his willingness to put some resources to this vision by supporting this effort. Dr. Sharma, and Dr. Singh, who made the initial contact with the university and formalized the agreement a year or two ago. Dr. Pillay and Dr. Singh again for accompanying and managing, supervising the students who were there. We had invited one, Mr. Anthony Brown. He's not here, but I need to tell you, he is one of the dorm matrons. And on the day that these students were to leave, which was February 26th, there was a snowstorm. And the challenge for us was whether we should try to get them to Charlotte so they would be closer to the airport in case it snowed the morning of the 26th. It began to snow the evening of the 25th. And Mr. Anthony Brown drove the van. It took us 2 hours from here to get to the hotel in Charlotte, and another 2 hours to get back. But we were pleased that we did that, but they were able to get from the hotel to the airport. So there were some things in the background and I think they will remember that ride. It was not, there was pure silence in the van as we traveled. So I want to thank Mr. Anthony Brown because he held the van in the road doing that. And I've already thanked Mr. Dickens. I just want to thank the young people for stepping out there, taking a chance in the unknown. That's always a challenge. But my prayer is that you have grown, that you are on your way to becoming global citizens, and that you will have an impact not only in your lives, but in the lives of others. So on behalf of Dr. Jenkins and Dr. Alexander and the senior staff, we thank you for going, and we bid you farewell. And as Dr. Jenkins said, we're going to have to meet in order to formalize and get the paperwork to create this organization that he has proposed. And also, some of you have a whole lot of photographs I've provided a memory stick to Mr. Birch, and we need to capture some of those photographs because when you've graduated and gone, we no longer have access to them, but we need to have them in the archives.
We'll need it for the next year's yearbook.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The initial charter membership.
Yes, sir.
So we need those photographs. I'd like to dedicate a page or two in the yearbook for the experiences that they captured.
Okay. All right, sir. All right. And let's get a couple of group photographs at the end of this. Is there anything else, Dr. Jenkins?
That's
Dr. Alexander? Okay. All right. We thank you for attending, and we will be in touch soon. Now, Ms. Willis will need to get contact because she needs to talk to each of you to prepare this article for the newspaper. Oh, let me thank the, would you come in, please, and your staff? Where are the rest of them?
While they're coming, let me say this. She gave you all a feast. She gave us a feast. I mean, lobster tail.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, red snapper.
Red snapper.
Yes.
And crab, stuffed crab.
Yeah, come in, people. Come on, ladies.
Now, you know what, if you were to go someplace else, that's about a $75 meal per person.
Yeah.
About a $75 meal per person.
I wanna thank you. This was above and beyond. We in the South refer to this as high cotton.
Well, I was told to take care of you.
Well, thank you very much. And I should say to my guests from India, the colors of the flag on the table were a little out of whack, and we did not want to cause an international incident, so we got the colors right. So we want to thank them because they went the extra mile. So thank you so very, very much. Thank you all. Good night. Let's get some group photos here, guys, before you guys.
Well, Sean is here.
Well, we'll have a Photoshop. Okay, come on up front, guys. Yeah. Okay, let's get here in front of the flag. Pull that side. Oops. Yeah.
Look at Chapati
Yes,
Charles
come
ain't even helping it. Ain't even help.
Made me
Come
hop
on,
to the
Chapati.
rescue.
Talk about your Chapati.